Welcome to this science class. My name is Isaac, and this is David. We are going to be learning about many different things in this class. Today we are going to be looking at some pictures with this laptop. There are many different skills that you would need to develop depending on what you wanted to study as a scientist. We are going to be looking at some pictures so we can see some of the skills that you could develop. In this picture, if you look closely, you can see dinosaur bones. These are called fossils because they have been in the earth for such a long time that they have turned into rock. If you wanted to study dinosaurs and their fossils, you would need to know how to dig out the bones. This is a rocket. If you were going to design rockets, a skill that you would need to have is math. Math is a very important subject that you need to know if you're going to be studying science. You need math if you're going to do any science, but especially things like rockets. When you're making a rocket, you would need to figure out how much fuel to put on the rocket so you could send them somewhere and be able to bring them back. You wouldn't want to put on too much fuel, or else the rocket would be too heavy. And you'd want to make sure that you had enough because you'd want to make sure that the astronauts would be able to get home. This is a scuba diver. This person is wearing a special outfit so he can swim in the ocean. If you look at his mouth, you can see that he has something so he can breathe even if he goes way down underwater. You would want to be able to develop this skill if you wanted to study fish in the sea. This is called a telescope. Telescopes are used for studying the stars. You can also use these to look at planets. If you wanted to study space from Earth, you would want to learn how to use a telescope. This is something called a weather balloon. You can use these to learn about what the weather is going to be. You could develop the skill of using weather balloons so that you would be able to study weather. Now let's look at this tool. This is called a microscope. Microscopes can make small things look bigger. Some things, like even the bacteria on your hand, you could see under a microscope. But the microscope has many things that you would need to learn about. This right here is a lens. This is what makes it so much bigger. And down here, this is a mirror that you would need to learn how to position. So with a microscope, there are many things that you would need to learn how to use. So you would need to develop the skill to be able to use a microscope. So today we've learned about many different science skills. There are some others, like reading and writing, that are also important in science. You could go to a library or with the help of an adult, find things that have been invented with science. You can read about these and learn so you can make more things using science. And when you make an invention, you need to know how to write this down so people will be able to do it in the future. If you invented something you didn't know how to tell the world about it, you wouldn't be famous for inventing that. Someone else could invent it, and if they knew how to write, they could just write it, and you wouldn't even get the credit for inventing that. So you want to make sure that you know how to read, write, and do math. Now let's do a problem like the one that you are going to do. Scientists need to learn math, true or false. So you remember that we learned that math is a very important subject in science, and so you click true. Good luck!